And welcome to the Sci-Fi Christian Book Review, brought to you by Sci-Fi Christian.com. I'm Ben DiBono. Little back-to-back recording tonight. Just recorded the latest Game of Thrones review. Now I'm going to record a book review for you. Dan Simmons' The Terror. Gosh, I love this book. I read this book right when it came out. 2007, I think it was. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2007, so man, this book's 7 years old already. And absolutely loved it. And then decided to reread it, just finished rereading it. This is a great book. I mean, this is a really, really solid book. You know, I was talking to my friend Dave who's been on, he did the D review with me, if you want to know who Dave is. Hi, Dave. And I think he's recently finished it too, or is still reading it or whatever, and he was saying, you know, he's having a little trouble getting into it because it's kind of slow. Yeah, it is a slow read. And it took me a while to get through it this time. I think, though, you got to embrace the slowness in this one, because that's part of the effect. Is that, okay, let me back up, give the overview of the plot. So The Terror is based on a historical situation where two British ships, and this is what we know historically, okay? So nobody freak out about spoilers. I'm just telling you some damn history. Historical spoilers don't count. Okay, so we've got two ships, the HMS Erebus and the HMS Terror. British expedition to find the Northwest Passage in the mid-19th century. What we know historically, which may or may not be reflected in the books, is that the ships got frozen in the ice for multiple years, and that the crew were almost positive resorted to cannibalism, and everyone died. So that's what we know historically. And so Dan Simmons has taken that historical event and just written a brilliant and powerful novel about the experiences of that crew out there on the ice as they're frozen in these ships, as they're trying to survive. He throws in some frozen, that's kind of a funny pun considering you're talking about ships frozen in the ice, but no, he throws in some supernatural elements and stuff. There's a monster out there that's eating the crew, so that makes it kind of extra fun if you're into that type of thing. So it works as a good horror novel too in different parts, or at least a good monster novel in various parts. And there's some fairly creepy scenes throughout the book. But where the power of this book really comes in, and where it really takes a step above the rest, is its ability to put you into the minds of these desperate men and the increasing desperation of their survival. And as you read about them going on fewer and fewer rations and coming down with scurvy and, you know, various people dying along the way. And that's not a spoiler, because as we already established, historically everyone died. Which I guess, you know, if they're in the 19th century, they'd all be dead anyway. By now, anyway, that's a dumb thought. Yeah, so we, you know, he really draws you into their world, into the struggle that they're undergoing. They're out on the ice, and it's so powerful. I mean, the main character in this book is Francis Crozier, who was historically the captain of the HMS Terror. And there's other characters whose perspective we see as well, but it's really Crozier's journey from being somebody who is forced to deal with protecting these men, doing everything he can to keep them alive, and just being faced with these impossible odds in the surmounting horror, both of the winter, of the supernatural stuff, the monster, and of his own inability to cope with that situation. I mean, it is one of, if not the best written work by Dan Simmons. It's my favorite book that he's done. I think there's a number of serious candidates for that in terms of what his best work is. I would definitely throw this one in there. You got to include Hyperion. I think Ilium is in there. See what else would I put in there? Maybe Summer of Night if you're more of a horror fan. You know, he's written some really, really great stuff. But this, to me, his writing is at top form here. everything was characteristic, little literary cameos where they'll throw in a reference to Dante, or the Hobbes Leviathan plays an important role throughout. And, so he makes you think along the way, but just the extreme desperation just comes alive off the page. And it does what good literature should do. It makes you ask questions about what is humanity, and what does it mean when the situation becomes so desperate that humanity, what we think of as humanity, is stripped away, and what's left of the different person. What arises out of us in those situations. It does, like I said, what good literature should do. Make you think about the human condition, make you think about what that means. I'm not going to say a ton more about the book, because I think you just need to experience it. So if you haven't read The Terror, it is a slow read. Dave is absolutely right. This is a slow burn. Give yourself time to read this. Don't rush through it. Read something else at the same time. That's what I like to do with some slower books, is have a shorter, faster read that you're going through, and then have a book that takes longer, and you can just really give that space that it needs. But yeah, just kind of embrace the experience of this one, and let it really sink into you. Let it get into your head and under your skin. And I think the more you can do that with this book, the more powerful an experience you're going to have. It's a masterpiece. It really, really is. This is one worth reading and rereading. It's the type of book I think you can get different things out of every time that you read it. It's Simmons at his top form. If you've never read Dan Simmons, this is as good a place to start as any. Though, of course, there's many great novels you could enter with, including the ones I just mentioned. But if you're already a Simmons fan and you haven't read The Terror, what's wrong with you? This is a great book. Stop what you're doing. Go read it. I'm giving it 5 stars. One of my favorite books. And a masterpiece from a master of contemporary literature. Alright, everyone. So that was nice and easy. Good book. Good review. Well, I shouldn't pat myself on the back too much. Better book. Decent review. We'll leave it at that. But anyway, this is Ben DiBono, Sci-Fi Christian Book Reviews, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. I'm going to enjoy my beer.